Hello, my name is Vanessa Ajiman. I am the founder and creative director of Copper. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and I'm offering you a massive welcome. So, I know, I haven't been on here for a while. I've been working on something really exciting that I'm going to be sharing with you guys on this platform very soon. But before that, I want to talk to you about Netflix's latest series called Made by Design. And I can't explain to you how I'm excited and how this has been a long time coming. It is produced by Titi Ogofre and it is basically an exploration of 13 creatives of Nigerian designers in different fields. So it could be architecture, interior design, and it talks us through their different journeys and how they came into being into their discipline. Now, I'm not going to jump into all of them. I'm going to pick out my few favorite key designers that I personally fell in love with and just talk you through kind of just giving my overall opinion and the review of how I felt about the production, the design. And to be honest with you, I don't actually have anything negative to say. I'm just so glad something like this has been made to show the true quality of what the continent has to offer. I'm guessing this is like a pilot series, and I'm hoping they run this series across the whole of Africa, because how special would that be to go to each individual country and speak to the creators who are kind of creating the foundations and building and growing the country. At the moment, it's literally just focused on Nigerian designers within Nigeria. But if all goes well, fingers crossed, this will fly to the rest of the continent. So sit back, relax, and watch with me. What Netflix has done is that they've kind of branded each designer. So they give you a short, succinct title, just a little bit of what that episode is about. And the first episode is based on the lady Carpenter. So the title itself kind of alludes to we're going to be speaking to a female designer based in carpentry. And I really enjoyed this as the beginning narrative to set the tone for the rest of the series. So the first one, Lady Carpenter, it is by Monsieur Chesterfield, that is the name of the brand, and the designer is Demi Samade. Now I really enjoyed and I felt a natural connection when she spoke about her brand and how she started her journey, because I think a lot of the times people don't get to see or people don't understand the journey and the narrative that people have got to where their brand is now. So I'm really glad that they started right from the beginning. So she speaks of her childhood, she speaks of how she grew up in the UK, and then she then talks about her journey from the UK back to Nigeria, which I absolutely loved. So her business is focused on furniture manufacturing and restoration. And she really talks about her love for manufacturing and how she found it while studying at Lovejoy Metropolitan University in London. It was really nice to just see, because it's true, most of the times when you get your first touch point with design, it could be through studying, it could be through a natural flair, but I really love the way that she spoke about, she just felt like she had a natural affinity with manufacturing when she studied architecture. And then what is really beautiful is that she talks us through the process of how she made her journey back, the struggles that she faced, the differences and different types of things that she was trying to do, which I found to be really interesting. I think the biggest thing, or my biggest takeaway from her episode, was the fact that it was very unusual, and even in the UK it's also unusual for a woman to be kind of pioneering furniture upholstery and design. So I can understand it was unusual here, so for her to go back to Nigeria must have been even more unusual. And what I really loved is that she honed in her skills and she took it with her to go and train and teach craftsmanship to get the quality of production to a certain level. Because one of the most important things in when you're doing product design is really getting that level quality design and having that cohesion throughout all the products and consistently. So it was really nice that she took those skills back with her and was able to kind of put it through into her business. She talks about how she had an encounter with Prince Charles at Downing Street And it was at that point she felt like the business was ready to take it to another level because it was being recognized in higher places. And it's just nice to see, okay, everyone has a moment in their business or their career where they're like, okay, this is the moment for me to take the plunge. So it was essentially her talking about that, and it was really interesting to see how she came about that and her journey so far. So I implore you to watch this. I'm not being paid as an ad. I just really love the show. I love what they've done, and for me personally, I think it's been a long time coming. So I'm really excited for you guys to understand and see. Queen. Now that title is not a mistake. They understood the assignment because when you see the property tour she takes us on, it is absolutely stunning. Like, as soon as they showed it, I felt a sense of peace. I felt a sense of tranquility. I felt a sense of, it's just, it was just so relaxing instantly. And what I loved even more, obviously you guys who follow this channel, you know that Africa is full of beautiful, it's full of joy, it's full of abundance, but it's not often portrayed that way. So even to my surprise, when I saw the way the property was designed and how she had designed it and how she'd got the different focal points, even I was taken aback. I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely stunning. So that was really beautiful to see. So she takes us on a tour of one of her clients' waterfront properties, which is facing the beach. So it's really like a bungalow style, so everything is kind of expanded out onto the area. And what she describes as the most important is the framings. And I just love the way Tosin Oshinowo, she's an architect, sorry if I didn't introduce her earlier. She is the architect who designs this space. I just love the way she describes the framing. So initially when I was listening, I was like, what do you mean by framing? But honestly, it is the best way to describe it. Each focal point in the house has a part of the landscape that is framed. So there was kind of a courtyard style where the ceiling had a massive circle, so you can kind of chill, relax. In the evenings you could take a look at the sky. During the daytime you could catch a breeze, and you could tell that she had carefully thought about each significant piece and how it all came together. So it has this really nice coastal beach resort vibes. And what I loved what she explained is that because not only is she the principal lead designer of her brand, she also controls the interior architecture. So what that does, it is a complete control and cohesion between the indoors and the outdoors. So you have a nice creative design, so everything seamlessly flows together. And not always do you get that, so it's quite nice that she has the ability to do the both and kind of define her style. And she alludes to something which I'm going to delve deeper into in my next series of videos. She describes her style as Afro minimalism, and I think that is the perfect way to encapsulate her sense of style, her sense of design. It is these beautiful, sleek, minimalistic lines. It is pared back colors, pared back textures, and it's absolutely stunning. And I think it's so important that Africa showcases what it has to offer. And I believe people like this and designers such as Tosin are leading the way and pioneers for showcasing this. So I'm so grateful that this has been shown through and as an episode, and I'm grateful for her designs. So I pay homage to you, Tosin. I think your designs are absolutely stunning. So I really love that style. Rise by Diseye Tantua, aka known as the artist, and that is the best description to give him. There was something really mesmerizing and it kind of immersive of when I watched his episode. I felt like I was almost stepping into a world of Narnia. It allows you to step into his world of how he creates and how he designs. So a lot of his style is very graphic. It's bold, it's expressive, it's authentic, and I really enjoyed that because all the color palettes flow together. It was something that I wouldn't necessarily see in design. You could tell, and what I liked actually, and not a lot of artists capture this straight away, is that he had this sense of when I see his design, I know it's his design, and I love when artists are able to do that. It's almost a way of controlling the narrative. So you could buy one of his pieces and instantly, if you're familiar with his art, you'll know he is the creator. So I really, really enjoyed that. And throughout his home, he had these beautiful stained glass pieces that let in this nice array of sunlight. And when the sunlight hit the stained glass, it was just almost like a dancing array of colors and light. And it was just sheer beauty, and I just loved how he had done that. It was expressing African art in its most authentic form, and I have to say I really appreciated it. One of my biggest takeaways from watching his episode was this almost obsessive nature over sculptures, especially taking car parts and transforming them into sculptural pieces. It was something really unusual, and he even mentions how in the beginning it felt quite heavy for him because he was still learning and understanding the process. But what I really loved is the ability to see something that no longer had a place or was no longer loved, and to upcycle it into something else. I just thought that was absolutely incredible. So for instance, I think it was like an old Mercedes-Benz that he had, and he had managed to transform it into a bed, and there was another item where he had transformed it into a desk. And he mentions in relaying his story, he works for people who have a need to create something unique in their home, and I think that is just the best way to describe his design and how it works. Another takeaway that I really loved, that he explained he was incredibly inspired by Demi, Nigerian architect, and he's almost like the Nigerian architect godfather of design in Nigeria. And I had a look, because I wasn't familiar with his work, I had a look and went onto his designs, and I was like, oh my god, this is stunning. Another way of just really being authentic to the surroundings and what is happening. So it was really nice to see that cross collaboration. And there is a scene where he just talks about creating this space where creatives could come together and meet and discuss and network and connect. And I think it was such a beautiful creation to have come up with, and the concept. And you could tell at each point he had thought about how this space could be interacted with. And I absolutely loved that. It was really special to see and to unfold. So that is Desi Tantua, the artist. Please do, I'm not even just saying this, please do watch the episode. It's really something to fall in love with. It's a very special series. Fashionista, I love that. Initially when I read it, I was like, the fashionista. But fashion and design always goes hand in hand. I have a background in fashion, so I totally got it straight away. And what I loved is that she really expresses how her creativity has shaped her work, and it really delves into talking about her background and her journey. I can't express how important it is for people to share their journeys, because what I found with design is that nobody has a conventional way of coming through design, or nobody has a conventional way of having a story. It's not, I go to school, I work in a practice, I got a job. That may be the overall arcing theme, but when you kind of delve deeper, what you'll find is that someone might have stumbled, or they may have failed at something else. But I always say to people, there's nothing better in life than failing upwards, because it means you learn from something and now you can do something better. And in her case, that's exactly what happened. So she had a background in broadcast journalism, she studied abroad in the States, she came back, and I guess she just kind of assumed that with that qualification and with that background, she'll just naturally fall into broadcasting in Nigeria. It didn't unfortunately work out that way, but I say unfortunate, it's not unfortunate because she's got this beautiful flair for design. And she just said that she kept on trying and it literally just was not working. And her brother had offered her to do a design project, to bid for a project, and she won. And since then she was like, oh my god, this is my true calling, this is my purpose. But what I loved with her story, what I resonated with the most, is that because she had that media background, she was able to bring that into her brand. And it's also similar to me. When I was modeling at the time, I didn't see the correlation between modeling and design, but I picked up so much photographers, videographers, marketers, so many creative people that I could then use into my personal journey, and I thought she had done something similarly. So I'm so glad she shared that story, because I think it's really important to let people know. And her style is a very, what I would describe as modern contemporary. It's got kind of brass, gold accents, oversized artwork, and she credits a lot of her inspiration from her great aunt, which she says she unfortunately didn't get to meet in adult life. But a lot of people had said that she really kind of channels her great aunt, who was a renowned author. So I thought that was really cool. And then internationally, she mentioned how much she loved Kelly Ressler. I'm a big fan of Kelly Ressler. I think her designs are creative, they are innovative. It really kind of sparks your mind and makes you think at different levels. So I was really excited to hear that she also drew inspiration from Kelly. There was something that I took away for myself, and I'm kind of really glad that I watched that. She mentioned about dressing good to feel good, and I took from that as really focusing on your well-being. Now, I'm a victim of this. I fall into this. It's where we've been in the pandemic, and I've kind of stopped making the effort. And what I really loved about her, which was a really great point, she mentioned about if you dress well, you feel good, and I 150% resonate with that. I feel like you'll have a different feeling from wearing, let's say, some home joggers doing work than rather if you make the effort. You kind of put yourself in that mindset, and I love that from an entrepreneurial spirit, because sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. So I'm really glad she kind of activate that. It was great for me, because I thought, you know what, I'm going to take that piece of advice, because I used to be that person and I should be that person. So I'm glad that she brought that up. And another takeaway that I really enjoyed is that she detailed her day-to-day of how she runs her business. So she detailed kind of the time she wakes up, how she plans for her outfits, how she plans for her site meetings. And it was really just nice to see how she breaks up her chunks of the day. Because I think sometimes when you're a creative, you kind of get in your own zone and you're kind of just going at 100 miles an hour. So it was just nice to see how she works in her field and how she kind of interacts with her team. It was really, really nice to see. So I really enjoyed that episode. I urge you guys to go and check out her work. Obviously, I'll be including images of all these great designers throughout this video, so you can feel inspired and you can get a taste of what contemporary African design feels and looks like in this time and era that we're in. And that is Osara Ali, principal partner at CC Interior Studio. And she takes us on her unconventional journey and how she stumbled into interiors and how she combines her love of creativity and architecture and brings it all together. So I really enjoyed watching her episode. She had this very infectious quality. When you watched her, you instantly felt quite warmed and quite happy. And she just had this very chill, joyful vibe about her, which I really enjoyed. Because I think sometimes when people think of architects as a whole, it's like they are very, very serious and they only wear black. And she's the complete opposite of that. She had a beautiful blue number on, her hair was laid, she looked good. So I really enjoyed watching her. She takes us through to Heritage Place in Lagos, which is one of her flagship designs, and she talks us through her design process, her reason being for choosing certain colors, her reason being for creating certain designs in the space, and how she wanted the space to feel when she enters. So I think it's really important in design to talk about when you enter a space, the feeling you want it to evoke, and that's one of the things I really, really enjoy. And she refers to herself as the pilot of happiness. Can I say that again? She refers to herself as the pilot of happiness. And I really enjoyed that because it's simply reflected through her design, the way she talks about the story. And one of the great things about Made by Design, what they really picked up on, is sharing the journey from the beginning. So really talking about childhood, their journey on from childhood, how was their upbringing, how that may have affected the design. So she talks candidly about the story of, she was actually studying economics, and her sister mentioned to her, I just don't think this is working for you. It doesn't seem like a good fit. So she then decides to take a few courses in interior design and absolutely falls in love with it. And you can tell it's just a lot more suited to her personality. There's a lot more creativity she can do with that. So she does all of this, and unbeknownst to her parents, she's on a student visa and she literally drops out. And I was just like, you're braver than I am. I would have been too scared. But I'm glad that she did it, because now we have pioneers such as herself creating these amazing architectural designs in Nigeria. So I was really thrilled that she shared that story. And it's also nice to show that sometimes you take a risk in life, and at the time when you're taking the risk, it feels like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to work out. But if you are confident enough, and if you have the gut and the willpower to see something through, it really shows that it works out in the end. So that was really, really nice. And then she mentions about coming out of architectural studies and working for her first firm that specialized in luxury high-end design, where she kind of got her foundations of how to create high-end design. And I really loved the way she spoke about her inspiration and how she loved technical drawings, how she loved architectural drawings, and it just felt like there were different pieces that she could pull from to kind of create herself. So I really enjoyed that. It was actually a really easy watch, comfortable watch, and it just put a massive smile on my face, I have to say. It was just elegantly put together. For watching today, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Pinterest and TikTok, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope you completely fall in love with Made by Design the same way I have, and please do watch it. See you next time.